Nepal Academy of Tourism and Hotel Management NATHM presents First National Tourism Conclave 2022, chalking the roadmap of tourism. Main sponsored by Citizens Bank Limited. Powered by Nepal Mountain Academy, Nepal Bank Limited, Himalaya Airlines. Associate partner, Nepal Tourism Board. Hospitality partner, The Solti Kathmandu. Knowledge partner, education.com. Internet partner, Dish Home FiberNet. Television partner, Castromonop Television. Promoted by Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation. Nepal Airlines. Hotel Association Nepal, Han. Nepal Association of Tour and Travel Agents, NATA. Trekking Agencies Association of Nepal, TAN. Supported by Himalayan Glacier Adventure and Travel Company. Super Samrat Imprex Private Limited. Brand Roof Private Limited.
यो कन्क्लेव को ओपनिङ सेरेमनी को कीनोट स्पीच का लागि म प्राध्यापक डाक्टर रमेश राज कुंवरलाई स्टेजमा आमन्त्रण गर्दछु। प्राध्यापक कुंवर हामी सबैका गुरु हुनुहुन्छ र निरन्तर पर्यटनको रिसर्च, पर्यटन सम्बन्धी आर्टिकल्सहरू पब्लिश र विभिन्न जर्नलहरू पब्लिकेसनमा अहिलेसम्म पनि निरन्तर सक्रिय हुनुहुन्छ। प्राध्यापक डाक्टर रमेश राज कुंवरलाई कीनोट स्पीच का लागि स्टेजमा आमन्त्रण गर्दछु र उहाँलाई जोरदार तालीले स्वागत गर्दिन हुन पनि यहाँहरु सबैलाई अनुरोध गर्दछु।
नमस्कार, very good morning। यस कार्यक्रमका सभापतिज्यू, माननीय संस्कृति, पर्यटन तथा नागरिक उड्डयन मन्त्रीज्यू and other distinguished luminaries, first and foremost, I would like to express my sincere thanks to the NATHM and respected professors of this college, including beloved students. Today, I am so proud of expressing my historical attachment with this institution. Previously, it was Tourism Training Center. Now it has become auspicious academic institution. For the first time in 1985, I entered into this institution as a visiting professor. Since then, I have been continuously teaching to different levels of tourism and hospitality at this college. So, once again, I am thanking to this institute because NATHM has proved that it has become academic hospitaler. And NATHM also proved that this is going to be knowledge-based platform. Knowledge is the third eye of man. Therefore, it is not only essential, but also it is quintessential. Without knowledge, we will not increase our vision. Vision is very important for the institution, for individuals, for the country. As far as tourism and the hospitality, including events, are concerned, personally, I teach tourism and sometimes hospitality. So, on this occasion, I like to share my ideas in this knowledge-based platform. Very unfortunately, we will be dividing tourism into three different phases. The past, before 2019, present from 2020 to 2022, and future. The whole world has been unimaginably, overnight, bitterly experienced in different spheres of life, among which tourism and the hospitality is hardest hit. More than 350 million people are worried what is going to be happen tomorrow. More than 1,100 million people seem to be worried. They are confining their activities inside their room. And the global world is losing around $2 trillion US. Therefore, in order to justify this, classify this, thinking about this, reimagining this, we have to go to the past. Studying the past, correction the present and the future. Almost 4,000 international professors are spending their sleepless night in order to know, understand tourism in better way at this moment. Therefore, I salute them. More than 4,000 professors of international universities are following their hard work in this particular field, that is tourism and hospitality. They published nearly 3,000 articles in these 2 years, or let us say 3 years, 2019 to 2022. If we talk about the past, I remember he was Saint Augustine of 5th century AD, who said, "The world is a book. He who stays at home reads only one page." Until before 2019, this was the best-selling book because 1,100 million people were buying this book. In order to buy this book, they spent $4 trillion US. And in order to sell to this book, there were 350 million people already stranded. Very unfortunately, now this book is not found in the international bookstores. Hopefully, this would be republished in very near future. And this shows how tourism was important and how tourism is important, how travel is important. So far as the history of travel and tourism is concerned, our ancestors, when they set their foot in this earth 32,000 years ago, they started traveling. But objective of traveling from one place to another was different. And in 6th century BC, Lord Buddha said to his disciples, "If you want to remember me, you please visit 4 different places: Lumbini, Bodh Gaya, Sarnath, including the last place where he left his the sacred body." So this reveals that South Asia, including Nepal, was not unfamiliar of traveling from one place to another. Lord Indra was very much fond of traveling in the sphere, and he was all the time suggested by the divinities to continue his travel. Charaibati, Charaibati, Charaibati. Keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. So South Asian civilization in connection, in related to tourism and the hospitality is not new, is not innovation. Although tourism enterprise began from 1841 AD, so that the credit goes to Thomas Cook. And we remember, here in Nepal at this moment, I would like to pay homage Maurice Herzog, a French national, who climbed Mount Annapurna in 1950. The elevation was 8,091 meters. Then followed by Tenzing Sherpa and Sir Edmund Hillary, who kept the international record that has been still followed by the whole world. So the credit goes to Maurice Herzog for the development of tourism here in Nepal, and likewise they are acknowledged, as I said, the Tenzing Norgay Sherpa and the Sir Edmund Hillary. So tourism is, or he was, Mark Twain. He said, travel is prejudice, or fatal to prejudice, bigotry and narrow-mindedness. So this is one of the great achievement of global travel, who traveled for the purpose of having or avoiding, diluting their narrow-mindedness in this modern world, followed by, everybody knows, the cannibalistic tour I extracted from in 1988. That was the strangest thing in a strange land is a stranger who visits it. This is marketing, how marketing was getting matured in 1980s. And the credit has been given to the Danish O'Rourke, who made the visual and they made the documentary or visual and said the strangest thing. So there are many places in different parts of the world where the experts traveled and made the visuals, which helped to do marketing and promotion of tourism in different parts of the world. One of the most important parts, Professor Dean McAnnell, while he was studying among the aborigines in Australia, he said, two sides meet in a kind of never land to the empty meeting grounds. So after the industrialization, urbanization, globalization, many people in this world are already changed. For example, here in this country, I would like to give the example of Rautis. Rautis are still spending their hunting and gathering life, whose culture goes back to 10,000 years old. Even though they live inside the forest, but their hut is replaced by the plastic. So things are already changed in different parts of the world, which has been told by Dean McAnnell. Two sides meet in a kind of never land to the empty meeting grounds. Almost tourism destination countries are primarily concerned with economics or economy. So that scholars of tourism say scholars of tourism say there is one thing worse than being exploited, not being exploited. Many developed countries seem to be worried whether the developing countries will be getting success or not introducing tourism in their countries. But the local people or the countrymen of developing countries were in favor of introducing tourism, so that scholars adopted the views of local people of the developing countries. They said the travelers, there is one thing worse than being exploited, not being exploited. And at the end, I would follow three different approaches for the development of tourism everywhere in the world, not only in Nepal. So it is Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger, the eminent diplomat, who wrote a book, Diplomacy, in 1994. In that book, he has followed the Spanish proverb, travelers, there are no roads. Roads are made by walking. And this proverb will teach us, so tourism here in Nepal should progress, should develop, should make plan, should make policy on our own. No one will come to help us. The way they will be helping, we will welcome them, but our prime responsibility will go to the Nepalese themselves, which has been suggested by Henry Kissinger. As I said, it is published in the book entitled Diplomacy. Travelers, there are no roads, roads are made by walking. So the statement is followed by Nepal is very popular tourist destination from two different perspectives. One from cultural perspective, another from natural perspective. So that we will say natural area tourism and the cultural tourism. In this regard, in order to emphasize on the importance of cultural tourism, I would like to present one statement, that is, the past is a foreign country. The past is a foreign country. Whatever our ancestors did it, we will follow it. Our future is where our past is. These two versions, these two statements presented by eminent professors of tourism and hospitality will indicate that our culture, our heritage, our history, our religion, our belief, our norms, our values are very aesthetic, quite aesthetic, which cannot be seen in so many areas in the world. So that Professor Dean McAnnell once again said in his book, there were some alienated people who have already lost their culture, their heritage, their social institutions. Therefore, they are seeking for authenticity. That is why we should prove Nepal is, from the viewpoint of culture, from the viewpoint of heritage, is authentic destination. We everybody know Bhaktapur is the example. With giving the example of Bhaktapur of Nepal, so far as cultural tourism is concerned, we will remember Bali in Indonesia. It is Bali, for the first time in the history of tourism. There were a lot of debates whether tourism should be opened, introduced or not. And they concluded that with the introduction of tourism, culture will be collapsed. Culture will be transformed. If tourism is closed, it is condemned. So that debate revealed that tourism is very important and the culture is very important. Therefore, the Dutch experts proposed, let us introduce tourism and let us introduce culture. Culture at the street for the tourist, culture at the home for the Indonesian people, so that there was balanced. They did not have a problem of introducing tourism. In this way, they introduced tourism and Bali became the model of cultural tourism in the world. Likewise, Hawaii, there is a place known as Lai. Polynesian Culture Center has become very popular, which has developed one of the most important models in the field of cultural tourism. But here in Nepal, I would like to emphasize on metemsomatosis and the metempsychosis. So these two words will indicate Nepal is very rich in its myth, in its legend, in its story. Every society, every communities, every places, and the people are guided by metemsomasis and metempsomatosis. These two words will be converted into the major instruments for the development of cultural tourism here in Nepal. And I gave the example of Bhaktapur. Likewise, there are many places in this world where cultural tourism, anthropology of tourism, or ethnography of tourism could be developed. And as far as adventure tourism is concerned, Nepal is one of the most important adventure tourism destinations where ecotourism, wilderness tourism, adventure tourism, then geological tourism, and the glacier tourism. All those many different types of adventure tourism was successfully run by the Nepalese people, Nepal, and the Nepal government. And once again, hopefully we will revive the same kind of adventure tourism here in this country. And the problem is, in a nutshell, I would like to brief COVID-19. The unwanted guest all the time preferred traveling throughout this world. And American ex-head of US Department of Health and Human Services, Michael Levitt said, everything we do before a pandemic will seem alarmist. Everything we do after will seem inadequate. So this statement has become part and parcel of COVID-19, its impact on tourism. And finally, so the coronavirus, as of 22 April, according to my study, over 2.5 million cases and 180,000 deaths with significant underreporting is the current darling on the media. And before that, it was dengue in 2016. It was Zika in 2015. It was Ebola in 2014. It was MERS in 2012. It was swine flu in 2009, and SARS in 2002 and 3, then cholera in 1960, and then Asian flu in 1961, then the Hong Kong flu in 1968, and Spanish flu in 1918. So altogether, for 12 different pandemics that gave trouble in the world so that COVID-19 is not only an innovative crisis or health crisis, we say nowadays, we call it as health crisis. So many people in this world are repeatedly experiencing with this pandemic. So that now the people in this world are waiting for another pandemic in the future. Many universities have organized the seminar, what is going to be happen in the future. Therefore, the whole COVID-19 has been divided into 3 different phases. In the earlier phase of COVID-19, most of the professors were organizing conferences. In those conferences, they talked about how COVID-19 could be recovered, and when it will get recovered. So that in the second phase, COVID-19 was little inactive. Therefore, Japan and the UAE organized international event like Olympic and the UAE Expo, which they could get success with following the health protocol. And later on, once again, the next phase began. In that third phase, people were talking about, people means the scholars, they were talking about the importance of vaccines. And they said, they found they were not believing in vaccines regarding the solution. So that coming into the third phase, professors of tourism and hospitality are still talking about the function and the dysfunction of the vaccine, which we have to see in future. So in this regard, after COVID-19, regarding its issue, I would like to enter into the academia. In academia, as I said, knowledge is the third eye of man. So that we should make stronger our tourism and the hospitality institution. So in order to make stronger, teaching, research, and the publishing paper is a must. Therefore, I request to the NATAM to continue the academic activities, and which has established the landmark in the history of tourism and hospitality today. And then, as our president of Han was saying, the work is very important. Work does pay. Therefore, last year in Dhanagari, in Kailali, when I was giving keynote speech over there regarding the future of tourism in Nepal, I said, in course of talking about hospitality, I used trichotomies in Nepali, tikne, sikne, and bikne. Because we all the time, everywhere in the world, the industry and the academia will be talking about the interconnectivity relationship between the industry and the academia. Therefore, as a professor of tourism and hospitality, I would say our students must be trained to be stable. And then they should be competent, and then they would be in a position to do marketing. Therefore, I coined the term tikne, sikne, bikne. Many colleges are following this trichotomy nowadays in order to motivate their students for their future career and teaching them at their institute. Thank you very much.